Dermot Kennedy, how are you?
How's it going? How are you?
I'm fine, sir. How are things? You're in the midst of promo for the big gig that's coming up at the end of the month. I'll get to that in a second.
Of course.
Meantime, how has lockdown been treating you?
Lockdown's been fine. I've been making music. I've had days where I don't do anything at all, and I am looking after myself.
That's nice. Yeah, a lot of speaking to musicians, musical artists about lockdown, their complaint has been actually inspiration, because on days you do nothing, the inspiration doesn't come.
Uh, Kind of, yeah. But to be honest, I find it shows up more often when you're living a normal life instead of sort of like jumping cities on a bus. You know what I mean? Like when you're on tour, like a schedule can get so mental that to me sometimes it feels like there's very little room for inspiration to show up, and I think it maybe takes normal life down to get that. So I don't know. I feel quite comfortable creatively right now.
That's nice. What's normal at the moment then? Are you just eating food and
Just eating and yeah. Just going to the shopper and just doing normal things and just whenever it feels right. I'm somewhere in between. Like I got to be careful and make sure I don't sit around for 2 weeks and not touch the guitar because like nothing popped into my head. Like I think there is an onus on you to sit down and actually just try and sort of drag your creative self out if you can. But somewhere in between.
right. So in order to do that, is there an element of like set the alarm? I'm going to get up at 8:30. I'm going to sit down. Whatever happens, I'm going to do 90 minutes in the music room, or is it just
Yeah,
like whenever you find the
yeah.
time?
No, it is a little bit. And like I've never been one like I know there's certain songwriters who literally do like 9 to 5 and it's nonstop and blah blah blah. And I don't really fall into that category. But yeah, like it's important, especially because the last 3 years have been so mad. It'd be very easy for me now to just sort of relax completely and not do anything all day. But it's important for me to keep at it, I think.
Yeah.
Especially even with that gig coming up at the end of the month, it's like I can't pick up the guitar and be like, Jesus, what's this? You know?
It's funny you mentioned having 3 mad years. This would have been the maddest yet, really, wouldn't it, for you,
Of
given
course.
the success of the album and all? What should you have been doing, but for the fact that you're sitting down trying to work?
Right now, who knows? I would have been playing a festival somewhere probably, and I would have done the biggest gigs of my life in Ireland as of this date. So yeah, I mean, it's a shame, but whatever's happening is more important, and it'll be grand in the end, please God, and we'll all get to play our gigs. But for the time being, yeah, we got to take it easy.
Yeah. Also, it's happening to everyone at the same time.
I know, yeah, and that's the thing. I do worry, like I'd be quite competitive, and I do really worry about momentum and all that sort of stuff. So it's a big consolation to know that it's the same for everybody everywhere.
Yeah. You're at home. You're in Ireland at the moment, are you?
Yes, indeed, yeah.
Right. Good to be home.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I mean that like in the last few years, I've been home for like 3 days at a time, and then Christmas. So it's very good for me to be back for a bit.
Right. So you haven't reached sick of them stages yet.
No, all good. Yeah, long way off that.
All good. So tell us, Paul Mescal can sing, as we learned on the RTE Does Comic Relief a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
You're clearly not feeling threatened because you're happy to do this gig with him.
Yeah. I'm threatened by every single thing but his voice.
You're all good.
No, like yeah, he's well able to sing, and it's just I'm just glad to be able to do this with him. You know, especially like two Irish lads in the Natural History Museum in London. I just think that's a cool thing. It's exciting.
Yeah, the two hottest boys in London, and they're Irish. It's great. So it's called Some Summer Night, and it's in the the Natural History Museum, as you said. What can we expect of it? Because a lot of people kind of going, is it Paul going to sing? Is Dermot going to be playing the guitar? What's the plan? Or is there
right? Yeah, I mean, like honestly, we locked it in quite recently, and so it's very much like me sitting down at the computer currently and making a set list and figuring out how this is going to go. And it's just very exciting because it can be looked at as a downside having no audience, but also it's kind of cool because you can do whatever you want, and to have someone like Paul involved, like it's just very exciting to basically, because I've been on so many sets for like my own music videos where a director's like, would you not do this? And I'm like, no, I can't do that. And so now we have someone who's brilliant at that stuff. So it's just a nice thing to be working on, but it's like taking shape every day.
Right. Would you have known each other for long before previously? Would you have been pals or friendly?
No, I messaged him a while back randomly just to reach out and sort of congratulate him on everything. And and just to even check in, because Ireland's small, you know what I mean? And there's not many, there's tons of artists obviously, but there's like, it's a small community. And so I literally just wanted to say like, hope you're well and hope it's all going well and it's not too mental. So that was a few weeks ago. And then this idea came up, and so I text him again.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's good. Well, it all seems to have worked out. He seems like a nice fella. And again, he's going through something similar to you, which is like this explosion, a lot of
Yeah.
attention.
Yeah, for sure. But his thing is so huge, right? And it's like, it's so, seems so quick, and that show has become so huge so fast. Whereas for me, like, I've sort of like checked in with myself at every step, and it's been very gradual. So yeah, it's been quite easy for me to adapt. So I hope he's in a good spot with it.
Yeah, you've been a longer overnight success. You should do a Twitch. Do a Twitch channel?
What is that? Is that games?
I think it's games. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a father of two. I know the Twitch. If you can't think about the plug in the games console, put on the PlayStation. Anyway, it's on the 30th of July, and you can get your tickets for that now. It's some summer night. You can find the details online. So, have you got new music all done? Of course, the new single is out, Giants. Have you got a whole 5 albums ready to pump out now that you've been off in lockdown?
It's kind of mad because, say, for the first album, I made so many songs, and when you're doing that, you kind of think like, oh, some of these would be good for the second album. But you get past that first album phase, I'm the type of person to be like, all right, let's just start again. And everything I've learned as a songwriter, everything I've learned as an artist, every way in which I've developed, is like, what I do now is different to what I'd done a year ago. So I've got stuff, but it's quite recent, and I've thrown out a lot of stuff that was sort of like in the process of the first album. So I've got music ready to go, but I'm really, really taking my time. It's like when you go from first album to second album, trying to do the same thing again, part 2. So I'm trying to figure out what I want it to be.
It's nice to be in that place, though, to know you've got some stuff in the bank and to be in a position to be throwing stuff out rather than going, geez, what am I going to do next?
No, definitely. But also, you can't get into a place where you're like, oh, everything I do is great, and whatever comes into my head today, I'll just release. I think it's important to push yourself. Yeah.
Fair play. Listen, stay safe. Thanks for coming on and talking to us this morning.
Nice one, Ray. Thank you.
Dermot Kennedy, mind yourself.